Welcome to class today. It's been a minute to try and get all of the video going, but I'm so glad we finally made it. So I want to start today on our mat, and we'll begin to get centered, paying attention to our bodies, getting ourselves settled to the mat. Lengthening the spine, allowing the face muscles to relax, to soften. Balancing our sitting bones. Relaxing the shoulders. Keeping our posture calm, quiet, still, and also attentive. For these first few minutes of our class, I'd like us to try and clear our mind and focus on the breath. Maybe you're noticing an initial hesitation in getting those thoughts out of your mind. Just allow them to drift in and to drift out, not attaching your thinking to them. Imagine your inhale pulling energy in from the earth to your system, and then on the exhale, flooding that energy completely from head to toe. Again, softening the gaze, softening the face. The eyes are closed, resting in their sockets. Always returning to the breath when the mind starts to wander. Really allowing ourselves to be present in this moment. Putting your right hand on your belly and your left hand on the top of your chest. Feel the expansion of the entire torso on the inhale. Filling your lungs completely. Exhaling, emptying your lungs completely. You might notice your shoulders rising with the inhale, lowering with the exhale. Imagine each rib separating from the others, creating space between each vertebrae, expanding the belly and feeling the contraction on the exhale. So for the next few breaths on your exhale, make an audible sigh through the nose. And imagine that audible sigh cleansing the mind, eliminating the stress from the body, the anxiety, the tension, the tightness. And then returning the hands back to the knees. Begin to add a little bit of movement in with the shoulders on the inhale, reaching them up, rotating them back on the exhale, down to end your exhale, swooping them forward and up on the inhale, down and back on the exhale. And we'll begin to get a little bit of movement into our body before we return to a standing position to start our actual practice. Keep those shoulders rotating in a clockwise position, releasing them, rotating to a counterclockwise. Really expand the chest open and then squeeze it tight to exhale. Expand the chest open to inhale. Squeeze it tight to exhale. Expanding it open. Really massaging into our shoulder and our neck by rotating our shoulders. Okay, let's put our fingertips to the tops of our shoulders and we'll start that rotation back clockwise, squeezing the elbows together, reaching them all the way up, back behind our ears, trying to get those elbows to touch behind our body, and again, rotating forward, inhaling, exhaling as we rotate back and lower. Inhale, try and get those elbows to touch, really squeeze them together and relax, opening the chest on the exhale. Last time, and we'll go back to a counterclockwise rotation. Okay, let's start with our counterclockwise rotation, squeezing them together, squeezing those elbows together, reaching the elbows up, and then trying to get them to touch in front of us, and also remembering the breath with the movement. Inhaling as we bring our arms up, exhaling as we rotate, lowering them. Okay, let's just add a few rotations up the neck, lifting the chin up, rotating clockwise, really getting these movements into the neck. Maybe 2 or 3 times with a faster clockwise rotation. Again, going from noon to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, clavicle, 6 o'clock, chest. Finding the farthest extension of that rotation and then the opposite direction. We're really just trying to warm up and loosen up, going a little bit faster than we normally do with our neck rotations. I woke up with a real kink in my neck today, and this is feeling like pretty good therapy for me. Okay, face to neutral, gazing over the left shoulder, gazing over the right shoulder, over the left shoulder, over the right shoulder, left shoulder, last one, right shoulder. And then let's raise our body to a standing position, standing in Tadasana. Our feet are about hip distance apart. Our torso, our spine is extended tall. Our chest is open. Arms resting slightly, gently to the side, extending through the neck, out the crown of the head. Inhaling that energy from the earth and exhaling to flood the system with that energy. Inhaling, bringing that energy in, exhaling to flood the system with that energy. Inhale our arms all the way to standing. And I've got my camera a little bit off today, so my hands are clasped together, palms are facing up, and I'm releasing into the shoulder joints, extending the spine tall, opening up each individual rib, and we'll lean to the left, pulling into that right hip, stretching clear into the thigh. You should be able to feel a complete opening from the palm of your right hand down through the knee of the right leg, squeezing that navel closer to the spine and releasing, reaching up, and again moving to the right side, opening up into the left hip, left thigh, left rib cage, left shoulder, and releasing to standing, pulling those arms forward, palms facing the wall in front of you, opening up space between your shoulder blades, tucking your chin to your chest, Really feeling that stretch between the arms, shoulder blades into the neck, extending the spine tall, and then we'll release. Okay, widen our stance and we'll work through some of our goddess poses. Our feet are out at 45-degree angles. Our glutes are tight, pressed in, opening up our pelvis forward, and we'll come down into a squat. So you can find that squat position that works for you. And then let's just take it an inch lower, maybe another inch lower, another inch lower, and then releasing. And what we're trying to do here is finding the stance that works for you. So you can adjust your feet slightly. Remember to push that pelvis forward. You can reach back and feel your glutes and really feel the tightness in your glutes as you're coming down a little bit farther, and then release it. Okay, we're adding square arms. So our upper arms are parallel to the floor. Again, our glutes are squeezed tight. Pelvis is open and we're coming down. See if we can get those arms parallel to the floor, thighs parallel to the floor, and then push it up. You might feel some real creaking in those hip joints as you're releasing, maybe some tension, some tightness, pulling it down again and pushing it up, pulling it down, really using strong arms, creating resistance and pushing it up. And if you'll notice, each of these lunges stays nice and deep, trying to get those thighs parallel and then upper arms parallel, pushing it up. And we're slowly building heat in the muscles. Our heart rate is increasing. We're just pulling down and pushing up, pulling down, pushing up. This time I want you to really focus on the depth of the lunge. Pulling down, coming farther, farther, and then pushing it up. Pulling it down, going nice and slow here, getting the fullest benefit from our movements, pushing it up. Pull it down one more time. And we'll pause here for a couple of breaths and release and push it up. Okay, you can shake out those legs a little bit. You should feel some warmth coming into them. And we'll come into a wide leg stance here. Opening up the chest, lengthening the spine, flexing from the hip. We'll come forward to a forward fold, being really mindful of the back of our legs here as we begin to open up into the hips, stretching out those legs a little bit with this wide stance. So you can find your hands to the mat. You might have them a little bit farther in front of you. If you're able to, tighten that up and come a little bit closer to your body, straightening the legs, lifting those sitting bones up. Begin to dip your face closer to your chin. And let's release out of that. Okay, reaching up one more time, really stretching. And we'll come to that forward fold one more time. Flat spine, hinging from the hip, coming straight forward, lifting those sitting bones out, trying to get our hands to the mat. And if you need to, you can separate those legs a little bit farther and we'll start opening into the hips. So you might want to just move your hips from side to side, sending a message to your hips that it's okay to release, okay to get a little movement in here. And let's start bending the knee, coming from side to side. Always with the breath, inhaling up Exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. One more left side, and then we'll pause to the right. Coming to the right side, really opening up into this left hip. So we can straighten that left leg. Create maybe a little lock here with your elbow, your right elbow and your right leg, which will push that right leg back a little, opening more into the hip. Remembering that breath. And release. Let's take it to the left side. Creating that lock with the left knee, the left elbow, really pressing that right leg closer to the mat. And then release to center. And then find yourself in this forward fold a little bit farther this time. Maybe you can take your arms out from side to side here, creating a lock on your feet, your ankles, pushing your chest closer to your legs, and then pay attention to your sitting bones. Really hike those sitting bones up to the ceiling, as high as you can get them, stretching into the thighs. Okay, release. Using the strength in the back of your legs, hands to your hips, raising your torso back to standing. Okay, feet come back out, 45-degree angle, and we'll work on some more goddess rotations. So coming down, right arm, left knee. And I'll have to move this blanket. And you can keep your rotations coming through. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. And keep the rotations going. Let's do 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right arm out, left leg out. Right arm out. Squat, left arm out. Squat, right arm out. Squat, left. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right fingertips to left toes. Straight leg, left to right. 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And step it out. Relax a little bit. We'll do one more series, sets of 8. Separate your legs back into our goddess pose. We're going to go right elbow, left knee. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, right arm out, left leg out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Toe taps. 8, 7. Keep that lunge deep. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step it out. Stretch a little bit into the torso. Put some movement there. Grab a drink or continue breathing for just a minute. And we'll work from goddess into warrior 1. Okay, our feet are back at 45-degree angles. Arms are square. Coming back down to goddess. Pushing up. Coming back down to goddess. Pushing up. Goddess. Pushing up. Last one, goddess. And we're going to rotate to the front of the mat. So both of our feet are facing the wall in front of us, finding that stance that's comfortable for your warrior one pose. We can add the arms. So let's check into our body and make sure we're where we need to be. That left knee is over the left foot, but not past it. So try and get it directly over. Lowering into that lunge. Our back leg is straight, trying to get that back heel to the mat. Torso is tall. And we're reaching forward, really pushing those arms forward and up. We'll just hold this pose for a moment, checking in with our core muscles. Tuck that navel into the spine. Now let's drop our right knee to the mat, lowering it straight down and pushing ourselves straight up. So we don't want to come over or back. We just want to drop straight and back up. Drop. Our third one. We'll do 8 altogether. 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one. And return to warrior one. And then we'll move to our warrior 3. So let's check our stance here. Our back leg is straight, both feet facing the mat, spine is tall, arms are extended, pulling our knee to our chest, and then pushing forward to warrior 3. This takes a lot of balance, a lot of strength and concentration, and maybe less talking. Okay, release it. Let's try that one again. That was an epic fail for me. Right leg comes back, finding our warrior one. Arms are up. Okay, let's bring our knees to our chest. Concentrating, pushing our arms forward, shooting that leg back. Finding balance here. Trying to get the torso and the leg parallel to the mat. Okay, release it. And then come down into chair. So our feet are hip distance apart. We're finding chair pose. And let's lift it, reaching up and back down to chair. And we'll do 8 of these. Lifting up, 7, 6, really shooting that behind back. 5, I'm losing my count. 4, 3, remember our knees don't go over our toes. 2, 1, stepping the right leg back to warrior 1. Okay, find your strength in warrior 1. We'll hold it for a moment here. Tall spine, reaching forward and up, squeezing those glutes, navel tucked to spine, right leg heel to the floor, keeping that left knee directly above the toes or behind, never over, and release it to a wide leg stance. Both of our feet are out at 45-degree angles, extending the spine. We'll come to a forward fold again, paying attention to how much your muscles have loosened up here. You should find this pose a little bit more relaxing than before. Taking a moment here to get our breath back. You should be feeling a lot of heat building in your body. Okay, hands on hip, using the strength in the back of the legs, lifting your torso up. And let's turn to the back of the mat. Both of our feet are facing the wall behind us. Back leg straight, right knee over the toes, directly over the toes, not in front of the toes. Torso is tall, navel tucked in, reaching strong arms forward and up. And we'll hold this pose. Finding strength here, balance, concentration. Now 8 knee dips. 8, coming straight down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Back to warrior 1. And now we'll move to warrior 3. So we'll pull that knee and elbows in. And then shooting the arms out in front of us. Our left leg behind us. Really working on balance, concentration, strengthening into that right glute, the right leg, and release. And come back to warrior 1. And we'll do that warrior 3 one more time. So maybe use this warrior 1 to relax a little bit, get your breath, your breathing. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll move back to our warrior 3. Knee and arms in, pushing them straight forward. Working on getting our torso and our leg parallel to the floor, keeping that right leg straight. Couple more breaths here. Really dig deep and release. And shake it out. Coming back to our warrior 1. Few more breaths. Continue letting those legs relax a little bit. And then returning to a wide leg stance. Both feet are out, 45-degree angle. One more forward fold, finding ourselves deeper into the fold. And using this slight pause in movement here to breathe deeply, to calm the heart down. See if you can send a mental message that slows your heart rate down. It's amazing that your mind can control your heart. And a lot of times when you feel your heart racing in moments of tension or anxiety, you can mentally send messages to your heart to calm it and slow it down. And usually the method, the means by which you can do that is the breath. One more breath here, using the strength in the back of the legs with a flat spine, hands on hips, flat spine, hinging from the hips, using the strength in the back of your legs, coming forward again, and release. Okay, that was a really nice series. We'll work a little bit on Warrior 2 and some flows with Warrior 2. So let's put that right foot or the left foot to the front wall and our back foot out at a 45-degree angle. And you can feel where your hips are comfortable opening your hips to the side is going to put a little bit more stress on your low spine. So if you need to keep those a little farther rotated forward than to the side, go ahead and do that. Our left knee over the left toes, but not in front of them. Arms come out parallel to the floor. We're going to gaze over our right or our left fingertips. Getting my right and left mixed up today a little bit. Finding that strength here, pulling the navel in, extending the spine tall, and then we'll slide that right arm back down the right leg, lifting our left arm, and then gazing up over our left fingertips, trying to hold completely steady in this pose. And it doesn't seem like it would be that challenging, but it really is to find balance, especially after we fatigued leg muscles with our goddess work. Okay, reverse it. We're straightening the front leg and we'll come forward. Straight arm, straight left arm, straight left leg. Bring that hand down. And if you have blocks and this is difficult for you to get the full rotation, so your hands are to the mat, you can place a block down here. Otherwise, hand to the mat, and our chest opens up to the long side of the mat. Both legs are straight, and we come to a revolved triangle, trying to keep our arms straight. And now let's gaze up to that right hand. Take a few more breaths here, keeping those legs straight, trying to find complete stillness in our balance, and release it. So bend the left leg, and our hands will come to prayer position over our left thigh. And with the bent knee, we'll come back and rotate to the long side of the mat. Lock our left elbow in front of our left bent knee, and then we'll open up one more time. You can gaze up over those fingertips. Just a little bit different here with that left knee bent. Still working on strengthening and balancing. And then release it. Back to prayer position. Coming up and returning to warrior 2. Release. Okay, we'll shake it out just a little bit. Put some movement back into those legs, and we'll work the same rotation on the back side of the mat. So find warrior 2, our right foot facing the wall behind us, left foot back at a 45-degree angle. We're going to keep that knee directly over the toes, but not beyond the toes. Adding parallel arms. That back leg is really straight, strong, tucking the navel into the spine. Finding your strength, your balance, your power, concentration. And then let's slide down that back leg and reach the arm up, gazing over our right fingertips. Again, strengthening here, finding complete stillness. If you're like me, you're shaking. And then back to our warrior 2. And we'll straighten this right leg and rotate forward. Both of our legs are straight. Our hips are open to the long side of the mat. And we're reaching down close as we can get to the mat with our hands and straight legs. And when you're ready, or if it's in your practice, you're welcome to gaze up over your left fingertips. Really trying to straighten that right leg, keeping the left leg strong. Navel is tucked in. And then let's rotate forward. We can bend this front leg, bringing our hands to prayer position with our right leg bent, right knee over or behind the toes, never past the toes. And then we'll open up with a bent right leg to the long side of the mat and open our chest again with a bent leg. And if you're interested, able, wanting to, gaze up over those left fingertips. Should feel a lot of tiredness in these muscles. Doesn't seem like a lot of work, but it really is. Okay, returning hands to heart center over a bent knee. Coming back, returning to our warrior two. Breathing to calm your body, softening the face. And then we're rotating to a wide leg forward fold for the last time. And find yourself completely relaxed in this forward fold. Bringing your chin closer to your chest. Really trying to pull that torso between the legs. And using the strength in the back of your legs, hands to hip, flat spine, opening back up to a standing position. And then we'll return to Tadasana, to our mountain pose. Standing completely calm, attentive. Our body's relaxed. A little tension between the shoulders to keep that chest open. Inhaling from the base of the spine, all the way up the spine, out the crown of the head, and then exhaling back through the crown of the head, down the spine to the base of the spine. Inhaling all the way up the spine, out the crown of the head, and then back through the crown of the head, exhaling. Finding complete calm here. Listening to your body. This is also a good time to check in with an intention. And if you hadn't considered one for the practice today, it's a good time to do that. It's time to have our eyes closed to really listen to our body and what our body is feeling, and possibly creating an intention for your day. Let's try a couple more breaths here. And then relax and shake it out. And we'll come to table pose on the mat. Remembering to stack our joints, wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. And at your own pace, pull yourself up into a cat. Inhale, pressing your chest down into cow. Remembering to keep that movement in the mid to upper spine. Never jumping into the low back. Exhaling as you come up to cat. Inhaling to cow. And then let's just reach our hands out with our behinds hiked in the air. We can do this extended puppy, so you can put your forehead to the mat, reaching out with your hips up, creating a space between your heels. Let's return to an extended baby by lowering our hips into that space between our heels, pressing the forehead to the mat. And when you're ready, return to full baby pose, palms up to the side of each hip, allowing gravity to push your body into the mat and allowing the earth to support the weight of your body. Returning to the breath to keep it calm. And then when you're ready, we'll come to our stomachs and do some work, some prone work. So supine is on your back, prone is on your tummy. We've got some humidity here in Tennessee, so I'm going to keep this blanket onto my mat. And if you're interested in a really good yoga blanket, something that's 100% cotton works the best. It kind of allows you to have some grip on your mat and is also absorbent, so it helps your body to breathe a little bit more. So lowering ourselves to our stomachs. Let's put the balls of our feet together and bring our elbows to touch in front of us, creating a saddle, a space of support for our chin on our palms or the heels of our hands. And then again, allow yourself to sink into this pose. I remember as a child watching TV in this position, and it's not nearly as comfortable for me as it was many, many years ago. Okay, let's bring our fingertips directly below the shoulders. We'll work on cobra for a minute here. Balls of our feet together, heels of our feet together. Palms are directly under our shoulders, but we're not putting pressure on our hands. We're just allowing them to rest lightly to the mat, and we're going to have our back and the muscles all along our spine do the work for it. So keeping our heels and toes together, and we can allow our heels to fall out, using only the strength in your torso. Lift your chest off of the mat and hold it as high as you can. And if it helps you to keep your hands from getting all of the weight of your body, you can just wiggle them, or if you need to, you can move them completely off of the mat. Again, it's your back and your core that's doing the work of opening yourself up. Putting tension between your shoulder blades to open your chest, lifting the chin, and then we'll release this back to the mat really slowly with complete control. And you can rest one cheek to the mat. Okay, let's return forehead to the mat, fingertips below, keeping our heels together. Lifting up using only the strength in our torso, in our back, in our core to really lift our chest up off the mat as high as you can get it. You should feel complete engagement all along the spine. Lifting a little bit higher and holding it, and then let's release it back to the mat. Now rest your opposite cheek to the mat. See if you can use 2 or 3 breaths to completely relax your body. And this time we'll come up into Cobra and we'll go a little bit farther and engage our hands and our arms. So keeping the elbows tucked tight. In fact, see if you can reach your elbows to touch each other behind your back. You can't do that, but that'll help you remember to keep those elbows tucked in. So starting with your forehead to the mat, heel and toe are together, inhaling, lifting your face. Inhaling again, lifting the chest. Inhaling again, engaging the arms to lift farther. Tucking the elbows tight to the rib cage. Extending space between your shoulders and your ears so your neck is tall, face is forward. Push up just a little bit farther, keeping the elbows bent. Now slowly, slowly release, keeping those elbows close. You'll get as much benefit from releasing slowly as you do from engaging into the pose slowly. Okay, bring your cheek to the mat. See if you can have a couple of breaths, calming and relaxing your body completely. And we'll go into full Cobra one more time. Starting out with our heels and toes together, forehead to the mat, fingertips directly under the shoulders. Inhale, lifting our face. Inhale again, lifting the chest. Inhale again, engaging the arms, tucking the elbows tight to the body, lifting into full Cobra. Your heels will separate. And don't scrunch those shoulders up to your ears. Pull the shoulders away from your ears, lifting and extending completely into the spine. Tucking those shoulders in, the elbows in, opening the chest, really burning the arms, and release slowly, 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 slowly. Bring your opposite cheek to the mat. Allow yourself a few breaths. Again, completely relax. And if you need to release additional tension into that low spine, which I definitely do, you come back to your extended baby or extended puppy. Really releasing tension. It's easy for my back to create a lot of tension in these poses. Okay, let's come back to the mat. And this time we'll lift our legs. And I think most of you have done this with me before. Cross your arms over, lace the fingers together so you can see this. And you're going to use your fists here to create a stand that will come right under your pubic bone. And you'll rest your pubic bone right on that stand. And you might need to adjust a little bit from side to side to get it so it's not painful. It's probably never going to be real comfortable, but more comfortable for you. And we'll roll onto our stomachs. You can lift your hips a little bit to settle your arms in. Find a flat spot on your chest. Our feet are together, our knees are together, the balls of our feet are together. Our pubic bone is resting on that stand on our fists. And our chin is to the mat. And we'll lift our legs together, and our legs will separate as they're lifting, okay? So on the inhale, inhale, lifting the legs, really trying to get those knees as high as you can get them. Keep the muscles in your face nice and soft. This one is a lot of work for me. Push the knees up a little bit higher. Release them very slowly. very slowly with control. And if you need to separate your hands here, go ahead and separate your hands to get a little relaxation. A few more breaths here. And then we'll return chin to the mat, resting our pubic bone on our fists, finding more comfort here in this pose. If you need to adjust a little, heels and toes are together. And inhale, lift. Keeping that chin to the mat. Let's go through our body parts that we've got engaged. You should feel your butt cheeks really, really tight. Navel tucked tight. Shoulders trying to get them relaxed. Face muscles relaxing them. Eyes are closed. And let's push those knees up a little bit higher. Really squeezing into the glutes. And relax. And lower slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Working on these prone exercises, you can release your hands. Working on these prone exercises keeps your core strong so that as you age, you don't end up with that posture that starts to hunch forward and bend forward. You'll be relying on your muscles to keep your core tall and straight, youthful and healthy, as opposed to the natural aging process, which puts pressure on our bones and our ligaments and our tendons, and they end up taking the heat, and over time they start to close in. So let's see what we can do here for another couple of minutes. Arms straight out. We'll take both of our arms and our legs and lift them up at the same time with our forehead to the mat. Take a couple of breaths. Get ready for this. Forehead to the mat. Inhale, lift legs and arms. I'm going to try and hold this for a minute. And I'll check after about 30 seconds and see how we're feeling, see how I'm feeling, see if we can still do this. We've really worked some good muscles today. What you want to do is really focus on your breathing in this pose. Trying to find softness in your body. Trying to get into that zone where you almost feel like you're out of your body. We're over halfway there. Keep lifting. Try and open up that chest a little more. Try and lift those heels up a little higher. Straighten the arms a little straighter. We've got 10 seconds left. Really, really work hard on this one. And slowly release. Nice work. And again, if you need to move to extended baby or extended puppy, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, you can lie here and take a few more breaths. And we'll do one last arm. We'll come up to up dog. And we'll do this, I think we'll probably just do it one time and hold it a little bit longer. Fingertips below our shoulders, heel and toe are together. We'll start into cobra, and then from cobra, we'll straighten the arms and lift into up dog. Forehead to the mat. Inhale, lifting the forehead. Inhale again, lifting the chest. Inhale again to engage the arms. And finally, inhale again, lifting completely with straight arms, lifting the chin. Our toes are together. Straight arms. Navel is tucked in. Really finding our strength, endurance, grit. I like the word grit. This one requires a lot of grit. And slowly, slowly release. Breathing through the entire release. Back to our cobra. Lowering back to our chest and to our chin. And this time, bringing our arms to the sides of our hips. Completely relaxing them. Okay, lifting ourselves out of that, returning to a seated position. Stacking our knees on top of one another. I'll face the camera so you can see it a little bit better. Going to start with my right leg to the mat first. Pulling that in and try and release right into these hips. And also find relaxation. We've really worked our muscles hard today. So it's kind of nice to take the last few minutes of class to center ourselves again and relax. Finding ease in this pose as much as possible. So your pose may look different than mine. You might have your knee up, your legs, your knees might be a little bit farther apart. So we're going to just rest here for a moment with our hands on our feet. Our spine is tall. Complete softness in our face. The space between our brows is soft. Eyes are resting heavy in their socket. Our jaw is slack, slack, relaxed, soft. Really coming back to centering ourselves. Feeling the energy in our body. Allowing those hip joints to really release. And then if you're able or interested, flat chest lies over the knees. Really working on keeping those sitting bones parallel to the mat. You'll notice your left sitting bone raising. Press it down gently. Send messages to your hip to relax with each breath. And release it. Coming back out. Sitting tall here for a moment. Then reversing our legs so the opposite leg is on top. You might want to stretch your legs out a little bit. Bringing that left knee in front of us. And then our right knee can come over or a little bit farther into the pose. Resting our hands to our feet. Our spine is tall. The chest is open. And again, checking back into the face. So important to keep that face soft. Our body will relax as our face softens and relaxes. Maybe you can even imagine softening coming in through the crown of your head. One more breath here, and if you're interested, holding your chest flat over your legs, hinging from the hip, keeping that right sitting bone pressed into the mat, softening into our hips. Remember, we're never working to pain. Work to your edge, to the place where you're feeling work, possibly tension, maybe even discomfort, never to pain. Completely relaxed here. One more breath. And with a flat spine, opening the chest, inhaling to lift out of the pose. Okay, find your Shavasana, find your comfort. And actually, I take that back. Cross-leg position, I really want to work on some breathing today. And I think I'll slide forward a little bit farther so you can see the work with our fingers. We're going to work on our finger breathing. We'll start with our pinkies, ring finger, middle finger, index finger. And I really want to work on this a lot in the next little while so that it becomes a regular part of your thinking and that you can always turn to this when you're finding those times or moments of tension. Also, if you have children, if you're working with students, even if you have a spouse who deals with a lot of work anxiety or stress, you can teach this to them. It's very easy. So we'll start with our pinky, placing our thumb at the base of our pinky, inhaling as we slide our thumb up, pressing at the tip of the pinky, exhaling as we slide down. And then we'll move to the ring finger, base of the ring finger, inhaling as we slide up, exhaling, sliding down, okay? So we'll do our right hand, our left hand, and then we'll do both hands together. And with kids, this might kind of be a fun game for you to do with them, to have them think of different things while they're sliding each time. And I've got 4 different things I want you to think about, and then you can add your own thinking or meditations as you're coming into this pose. So you can have your hands rested on your lap. You can hold it out in front of you. You can hold it up. I'm going to hold mine up so you can visualize what I'm doing, but it's important for you to find the place that's comfortable for you. Starting at the base of our pinky finger, remembering to check into our posture. Our torso is tall, it's extended. Inhaling up, really feeling what our fingers feeling, pressing and exhaling. Let's try that one more time. I just really want you to feel what that sensation is of your thumb touching your pinky, what the skin is feeling like. Inhale, press, exhale. Okay, starting with our ring finger. This time I want you to feel the temperature of the skin. See if you can notice the heat in your fingers or coldness in the tips of your fingers. Base of the ring finger, inhale, press, exhale to release. This time I want you to locate the breath where your body is feeling the breath the most, maybe in the roof of your mouth, your sinuses, your chest, your belly. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, this time we're going to pause the breath at the end and hold it for a moment before we exhale. Inhale, index. Pause and hold the breath. And exhale. Maybe shake out those fingers to relax them. Let's work with our left hand. Base of the pinky finger. feeling what our skin feels like, the texture, the smoothness, the roughness, the calluses, base of the pinky. Inhale, press, exhale. Ring finger, checking into the temperature of our fingers. Inhale, exhale. Okay, our middle finger. This time I want you to locate the breath in your body where you're feeling it the most. Inhale and exhale. On this last time, we're going to pause and really feel the energy in our body, what it's doing, how it's flowing, how it's moving. Inhale, pause, and exhale. Okay, let's work both hands together. And this is where it could be fun with children or with your students, so you can get them to be a little bit more coordinated in their fine motors. Inhale, press and pause. Exhale. Ring finger. Inhale, press and pause. Exhale. Middle finger. Inhale, press and pause. Exhale. Last one, index finger. Inhale, press and pause. Exhale. Okay, relax your fingers, bringing them to rest on your knees, extending your spine tall, finding complete relaxation. Let's do a quick body scan, allowing relaxation to flow from the crown of our head, like a soft, oozy, glowy liquid that flows over our body. Allow that softness and that light, that relaxation to flow over the crown of your head, over your head, into your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, softening, relaxing, bringing light over your chest and your back, your belly, your hips, your glutes, thighs, calves, ankles, and feet. Complete relaxation. And on your next inhale, return your hands to heart center, gently placing them together. Today, I offer gratitude for joining me and patience with technology. And my wish for you is accomplishment and fulfillment today. Namaste. Thank you. We'll see you all for our next class. Love you all.